We'll give it like a minute.
Okay.
Look at that lighting, dude. It's really hot right now. Okay. All right, so we'll start. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, did you come up with some things to talk about, like the PG-13 things?
No.
All right,
No.
so we'll talk. All right, so let's start. All right, so this is my friend Roy. I went to high school with Roy. Roy, when did we meet? In like ninth grade or something in high school?
It was ninth grade. Vero Beach High School.
And we just kind of been friends ever since then.
Yeah.
Roy's a cool guy. He's a cool guy to talk to about life and about some of the other things. And you can pretty much talk to Roy about anything, and that it's probably what we're going to be doing today. And me and him have a lot of same opinions on things and same things that we agree with on a lot of things. So Roy, you can go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and let them know who you are.
Yeah, so like Cole said, I'm happy to be on here on this Zoom call. My name is Roy Flores. Born and raised in Vero Beach.
You have an IG, Roy?
There. What was that?
You got an Instagram? These girls
I do have an Instagram. It's Rogelio_Flores. I go by Roy. That's my nickname, but real name is Rogelio. And if you can't roll your R's, don't say it.
You're done, dude. Just don't even say it. If you're not an authentic Mexican, just don't. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So you can finish. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No. So I'm up in Orlando right now. Working, going to school, just pushing through this 2020 year. It's been a crazy year. It's with the pandemic. With these elections going on. But we're here having a good time, making the most of it.
Yeah. So we won't really get into like politics, about our different beliefs in it, but what do you feel about the election? What do you like? Do you think it was rigged, or do you think it was?
I thought you said we were going to go into it.
Well, you may be a Republican, and
of course.
You probably know what I am, and I think Aaron is probably pretty close to what I am about politics.
I don't know, dude. I don't know, but it's been a crazy year. Definitely, both Biden and Trump, very, very, very different in the way that they believe this country should be ran. But it's we do have to do our part and vote, and as long as we do that, and that's all we can do. Go out there, vote. I mean, that's the most important thing.
And that brings me to about like a question about how this country should be ran. Do you feel like in our society today, both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, have grown extremely distal from where they should be at? And do you think it's a problem in society?
Yeah. The country is divided. Everyone has, their own opinion, their own beliefs. And we've definitely seen it, especially with this election. We could clearly see on the map, it's 50-50. So we need to find a way, to, just get together. We're all Americans. We all live in the same country. And we have to be able to figure out, how we can live with each other, which, it's difficult because everyone wants to express their own feelings, but, we're all American. We all love this country. and we all want to, feel safe and feel, that our voice is being heard. And I think that's one of the biggest, things going on. Everyone wants their, opinion out, and we have to understand to, agree to disagree, and not go out there and fight each other, and literally, you know, destroy, our cities.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that you know, you can't really get into where you believe, but I think in a lot of senses the former or the former president administration and the incoming one are completely different, and I think in a lot of senses we've lived in a very hostile environment, um, where they are encouraging that separation. Now that's my opinion, and that may have just put a lot of emphasis on my political beliefs, but that's what I believe. And I had posted on my Instagram and on my Snapchat that that I was happy about the outcomes of this election, and you'd be amazed by how many people took me off Snapchat.
Yeah.
Like probably 50 people took me off Snapchat just from one post. And I was sitting there to myself and I was like, okay, like what the fuck is this? Like, like that's my opinion on what I believe in. And it's like, if you have a different opinion, I'm not going to like think of you any less of a person. That's your opinion. This is America. This is a democracy. But like you said, right then and there, that's a very clear symbol that we've grown completely far from like, okay, like Cole Penner believes in this. He's wrong. He's an asshole because he believes in this. I don't want anything to do with him. And then like he believes in that, and not, I'd be an asshole too for just being like, oh fuck this guy. He believes in something different than what I believe in. And it's like you can't run a country off having two completely different spectrums of people to do that.
Of course, yeah, and it's something where it's funny that you say that. When you post, when we post something on social media, I feel, if somebody doesn't agree with you, it's
they're snowflakes.
Exactly, and
yeah, it's like
and
don't be a
it's kind
snowflake.
of, it's yeah, and it's social media. There's data and there's facts. There's proven facts that we only want to see and hear what we want. So it's very easy. I've tested it multiple times. You can have multiple people go on the internet and on Google type in the same exact word, but depending on what we search, and it's going to show us different different answers for one question. And that's it's, we have to, like I said, we have to agree to disagree, and we can't be too sensitive. Oh, this person believes that, I don't agree. It's everyone's different. Yeah.
So that talking on that like social networking thing, something that I know I've talked to you about this, is using social networks has impacted our society and like the way that people live their day-to-day lives. Like I kind of find this, that like I'm into like fitness and stuff and all that, and people like oftentimes get on Instagram and they see these like fitness people who are like jacked and who are like ripped and they follow their like plans, but see like in reality, and people have like confidence problems because they don't look like these people. And the reality of it is like with these people is like they're only posting pictures in their peak of like when they're peak doing something,
Yeah.
Like I work out every day. I work out 5 days a week, 6 days a week. And, I live that life and I live that culture. And like seeing these people who like you know, and I know from personal experience, you know, that a lot of this shit's not real. You know, it's
Of course, they're promoting a brand, or they're promoting,
yeah,
you know, uh,
yeah,
what they eat and drink, but
hmm
it's a long process. And I've known you since we were
yeah,
kids, and I've been able to see that progress and that work and
hmm
dedication that you've put in to your own body, and you see that change. Yeah.
like maturity and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like I have like you know, I've voiced my opinion on steroids, you know, several times, and when I did that, like so many people, you know, snowflakes, um, just fucking blasted me on shit like, and you know, people have accused me of taking steroids, and one I take
Uh-huh.
that as a compliment because, um, you know, obviously I'm doing something right, and you know, but it's I think if you've done steroids, you've done steroids. You should be completely transparent about that.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
and you know, like I'm not gonna judge you for doing it. I disagree with it on multiple different levels. Um, but hey, man, you know, if you want to do it, you want to do it. And I think a lot of the times that's where Instagram influencers are not being transparent with their audience of saying like, hey, like like there's a guy, his name's Jesse James West. He's a Instagram fitness model, and he
Uh,
claim to fame is that he you know, claims to be a natural dude, and yeah, there's no way that man is natural. All right, but
yeah.
anyways, moving on from that. So you 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 still like work for Apple and sell your computers and stuff?
Yeah, so where I work at, I'm focused in a lot of selling, products, new computers for customers and clients that come in. We do offer a service where if your computer has a virus, or if you're having any issues downloading or uploading, or any type of program in your computer, you come to us, and we help you do that. So I am doing that at the moment, and going to school as well. Have one more year to get my bachelor's, and yeah, that's staying fit, going to the gym, eating good foods,
Mm-hmm.
also traveling. This year, I
Yeah,
focused
I've
a
seen
lot
that.
in traveling. Yeah, so I went to Colorado. I've gone to Atlanta a couple of times this year. Colorado was amazing, though.
Smokes and
The
pot. Yeah.
mountains. Being here, from born and raised in Florida, everything's flat.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to go up Pikes Peak, which is 14,000 feet high, and I went to St. Mary's Glacier. So I got to do a lot of hiking this year.
Mm-hmm. So I know, you got a Tesla, didn't you? Like a rental car? I saw that on
No,
there.
that's actually one of my one of my friends, Tesla. He was driving down back to Florida, while I was in Denver, in in Colorado. So he met us there, and then we took the Tesla just everywhere through Colorado. It was very fun. It was a couple of friends. It was four of us in total. We stayed there in downtown Denver. Very different than Florida. Everyone in Denver is very nice. And Colorado, we went to Boulder, Colorado Springs. Everyone up there is very nice. Very different, very different. Here in Florida, I feel like everyone's a little bit more aggressive, and I like
Oh
that.
yeah, absolutely. They're all just
You know.
a bunch of old people, and but I mean, you know, it's my home. Like I love Florida in the sense of like
Yeah.
where I live. I mean, I know in Orlando it's like a larger city, but so may you know, probably get that vibe from there. But I
Uh-huh.
don't really think you really. People here are very nice. Where you and I are from. Um, yeah, but back on the computer subject. So I don't know how well you follow technology. I don't know, like, I mean, with like Apple computers, but
Mhm.
so a question I ask people is iPhone or Android, what do you prefer and why do you prefer one or the other?
I don't know. I've always been an Apple guy. I've never had an Android phone. I have Apple Watch, iPhone, MacBook, iPad Pro.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the simplicity of the product, especially for traveling. If I take a picture on my phone, everything's backed up, on my iCloud. If I want to do any type of editing, um, I can do it on my computer. And it's just the connectivity between all of the devices is just great. I do know, Android, they have very good phones out there. But now I'm more of an Apple guy since the start. So I don't feel like I would switch ever to Android. I would give it a shot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know you're more of an Android guy yourself, aren't you?
Well, like I was when I was in like high school.
Uh-huh.
If you know me in high school, and I was a pretty big nerd in high school, and but as like I got older, I just kind of switched over to like slowly started switching over to Apple. Like when I was in college, I studied architecture and then I studied computer science, and many of like the software programs that you run are ran on Mac. So, I got a Mac for that purpose. And then slowly, like I liked how, it worked with the iPhone, like with the iMessage. iMessage is like honestly probably like a huge reason what draws people to iPhones.
Uh-huh.
And I think the thing is just the ecosystem of just how like I mean there is an ecosystem on Android, but it's like mostly like third party things. But how Apple has built like an ecosystem around their platform, I mean I don't really think anybody has really attempted to do that. Like as far as um, like the Notes app and the Calendar app and just like the little things like that are things
Mhm.
that like you take like you can make a note on your Mac and then it's over on your iPhone and over on your iPad and things like AirPods, like you can just put them in and they just seamlessly are synchronized to all your devices and that's it's just like little things like that. I think that like as you get older and like less focused on like the immaturity aspect of like technology, I think those things really kind of like become more essential to you. And that's honest to God why I like the products. Is that Frank the Tank?
Yeah, that's Frank the Tank. He's out there just barking. But yeah, I really back up, Apple products. It's they're just great, especially I personally have a MacBook Pro, and I've had it, all through college. I believe this is the 2016 version, and
Mm-hmm.
it's running strong. Very difficult for these computers also to get viruses. Normally, if when you purchase a Windows computer, the majority of the viruses out there are meant for Windows devices. So with Apple, you really don't have to worry about also, having to download, any antiviruses or anything like that because they're very secure. That's another reason why um, I like my MacBook. Where I work out, we get a lot of clients that come in with Windows computers, and
Yeah.
we have to run diagnostics, scans, do all sorts of repairs. Not really hardware, but more software. You get that blue screen, the
Mm-hmm.
computer just won't boot up. The operating system,
Yeah.
fails or they delete it, and so it's a little bit more difficult to it's more probable that you'll get more issues with a Windows device. But Microsoft Surfaces are very good laptops. HP and Dell, they've been on top of their game. Lenovo is one of the newer brands of Windows laptops that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Lenovo, I believe they started making monitors first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now they're making computers.
Well,
So
not like my
laptop.
work computer where I work for is a Lenovo ThinkPad, and like in the IT field, that's probably like the laptop that everybody has in like the business world.
That used to be
And
IBM.
yeah,
IBM's.
IBM Think. Well, I think um, IBM used to own Lenovo,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that
Yep.
was their like brand of personal computing. And then they, like a Chinese company bought Lenovo, and then they just branched out to their own thing. But those are very good laptops. Those are honestly
Very,
like,
yeah, very good laptops. Very good if normally the ThinkPad is what normally I recommend if the client's going to be using it for heavy work. Very good for
mm-hmm,
traveling. Very good for if you're going to place it in a backpack or have it in your truck or in your car, moving it around. They're very good against drops and all of that. And also because
mm-hmm.
all of these new computers, they all have solid state drives.
Yeah, SSDs.
Yeah, the SSDs, that's helped a lot with the durability of any computer, just because there's no moving parts inside, like the old hard drives where if you get dust in it, if you get water in it, if you bump it, it's if
Mm-hmm.
that little fan moved or that disk moved, you'd have to get it repaired. But with these solid state drives, these computers are amazing.
And they're fast too. Like, I don't know if you know how a hard drive works, but it spins and then it memorizes where it stored the electromagnetic fields on the disk.
Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
that thing moves back, and like if you ever put your ear up close to a hard drive, you can hear it. And that's the
Yeah.
disk moving, and the friction plate of that finding that information, sending it to the CPU to process that the binary system. And the solid state drives, what happens is it boop, boop, just stores the data like that. So it's more efficient on it pulling data. Now a defect to it, which is that if generally in like I know in like MacBook Pros, it's built onto the actual like logic board. So if that fails, like essentially your entire laptop fails. Which part of me in a sense like that. But also a pro to that is that they can make logic boards extremely small. Like if you look at like the logic board on your MacBook Pro, like the motherboard, it's extremely small. It's like almost like mind blowing that these things have the power they do.
Yeah.
Like that's like it's like literally like the size of an iPhone, like these logic boards. And another thing that adds is the size of the battery, like laptop batteries, and just the whole like evolution of like how far these things can go. Like ThinkPads are bricks though; those things are tanks. Like the batteries on them, like literally, like you can go
they're heavy duty.
You can do some like pretty serious like computing on those things. Like maybe in like 2 days I have to charge mine, but I mean because the batteries are so huge and they're so heavy. And like for like personal computing and stuff, like I don't really recommend them because that's not really their target. But for like business professionals and stuff, like people in like my industry, like they're like leading industry. They're industry leading.
What do you think about the two processors that are out there? You have Intel,
And
and then you have
AMD.
AMD. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, like I said, I like Apple, and a lot of people don't know this, but the main engineer behind AMD actually used to be the engineer for way back in the day when Apple had their Power Mac PCs, and he was the main engineer, and they actually fired him, and AMD picked him up. So, I'm not going to get into the battle of Intel versus AMD because at the end of the day, like they're both extremely powerful.
They're both very good.
But AMDs are significantly cheaper, and I think they get more towards the budget spectrum of computers, where Intel's definitely the more premium aspect of it. But I mean, like at the end of the day, I think they both like where one accelerates, the other one doesn't. So it's like politics, like where one has a good pro, the other one has a bad. So I mean, like I think it really just kind of comes down to just what fanboy you are.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't know if you know this about the new Apple Silicon, but now Apple is making their own CPUs for the new MacBook Pros, They just came out with a new MacBook Pro, new MacBook Air, and a new Mac Mini, all with proprietary CPUs in them now.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've always been a huge fan of is, you know, and you look at how like well iPhones run and how smooth they run. And I think it's because they have their own proprietary chip made for them. I think there's a level of, you know, connection between when the same company is manufacturing the software and the hardware together harmoniously to create an extremely well experience. Like you look at Android phones, and I'm not, you know, putting down Android phones, but you have like Samsung, you have like OnePlus, you have like LG, you have all these phone manufacturers making phones, putting different CPUs. There's no way that Google, you know, the people that make Android, can specifically make a extremely stable operating system for their phones based upon the factor that there's so, and that same thing with Windows, like they're kind of building an operating system for anything. And that's either in like the development world, that's very good because not everybody, you know, is going to be able to exactly make the same patents like companies from Apple has.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, they actually have a new. It's funny that you're saying all this. They actually have a new chip coming up on the 17th of this month. It's called the M1 chip, which is supposed to, you know, they're going to put on the MacBook Pros.
Yeah.
And the battery life on those computers are supposed to, you know, be like around, you know, 20 plus hours of
That's
battery
insane.
life. And, you know, I really, you know, the company that I work for, I am an Apple rep. And, you know, the big talk has been this chip that's coming out on the 17th, which is in 7 days or 6 days from today. So I'm really excited about that, seeing how good these computers are going to be. Definitely technology is getting, you know, a lot faster, a lot better. I was on, I think I was on Instagram where, you know, back in the 80s, or when was it, when Back to the Future came out, you know, they said that by 2020,
yeah, like 83 or something.
Yeah. We're going to have, you know, flying cars, you know, we're not there yet. But we can see, you know, in the car industry is it's also changing a lot. You have all these,
absolutely.
Yeah, you have all these, you know, big, you know, companies. He gets it. You know, you have, you know, GM. You know, a lot of electric cars. You know, you have Tesla, obviously, but you have a lot of these companies also moving, putting a lot of technology into their cars. You know, making them, you know, more reliable on the road. One thing that that I think of is of electric cars, when if your car breaks down, who are you gonna call? You know, I feel like, you know, I know that Tesla, they send their own people out there, you know, if your car does break down or if the car doesn't turn on, or, you know, because it's a lot of batteries, it's a lot of new technology that they're putting into these cars. What do you think about that, Cole? You think
You know,
it's
I mean, I think about that a lot. Like I think about Apple, like I mean, like car manufacturers like BMW and all that, like they're extremely proprietary. Like you look at like Ford, or you look at like GM, or you look at like, you know, companies like that. When they build their cars, they have in mind that local, you know, auto shop, right? Like, okay, your car breaks down in 95, you're going to be able to go into a repair shop in West Virginia, and they're going to have a part for your car, right? Where like you look at like Apple computers, like if your MacBook Pro breaks down, you've got to take it to an Apple store. You've got to take it to somebody who focuses just on Apple computers, because they're so proprietary of in which like everything in these computers are manufactured by Apple. Like you take apart a Lenovo ThinkPad and you've got RAM from like Samsung, you've got your SSD from like Western Digital, or, you know, and it's the same thing with a Tesla. Everything in that vehicle is proprietary and is built by Tesla. It's engineered. And in a sense, I do think that there is a level of quality control in that. I do think that the quality of it is higher when you're actually engineering that and testing that in the house. But like you said, if that does fail, that like if a Tesla breaks down in the middle of 95, you're just not going to be able to go into a repair shop in West Virginia, and they're going to be able to help you out.
Correct.
So
Correct.
and
That's
that's kind of where I feel about it. I don't really, I think in the direction of the world, and I think that the way that technology is improving engineering, I do think that products are becoming like extremely, extremely good. And I I don't think that there's a lot of shitty products made now because of the level. And one, I don't think companies can afford to make a shitty product. And I don't think that our engineering is to the point where that's going to happen. But, you know, like you said, I mean, if it breaks down in the middle of West Virginia, you're not going to be able to go into a repair shop in West Virginia. They're going to be able to fix your Tesla. So
yeah.
in that sense,
Yeah, what I did find, also, while I was in Colorado, we're driving around in that car, in the Tesla, there's chargers everywhere. So, Tesla is doing a good job to make it more, accessible to, their customers, that do own Teslas. And, you have the chargers, and then you have the superchargers, I believe, where, if a car does break down, I feel like they have to, Tesla should, make more areas in the United States where you make, where it's easier, where you just take the car, they check it out, they fix it, or they at least can tell you what the problem is. But
mm-hmm.
Also they're becoming more affordable. I do remember when the Teslas came out, they were higher in price, but I think, I don't know, I think I was reading on their website, you can get one for like $30,000, a Tesla.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, gas, it's, and so if you do a lot of driving, a lot of commuting from to
Mm-hmm.
work, very good cars, yeah.
But no, I do know that like a Model 3, there is actually like a lot of like quality control issues with those. Like I don't know if you've ever seen a Model 3, but like there's parts with inside a Model 3 where it's like, did that really pass like quality control? Like there's just like parts that like plastics just misplaced and it's not like properly installed. And I mean, I think a lot of that is because they're such a new company. And they don't, like, you look at like companies like Ford or General Motors, they've been building cars since like 1914. So
Yeah,
for like over 100 years.
This is what Tesla has to do. They're experimenting, and they're doing pretty good, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually looking at the 2020 Model 3 right now, and they have different models here. The one's for 48, the other one's for 57. Pretty good cars I see here. So Cole, question: what do you think about, in the sports world? I don't know if you really follow the sports world. How the NBA had that bubble here in Orlando, while they were, playing in the season. What do you think about the NFL not doing a bubble or anything like that?
I mean, honestly, like I really do disagree with that. I mean, you look at like how well the MLB did their bubble and how well like the NBA did their bubble. I mean, actually, it's like a wishy-washy because not a lot of people in the NFL have, I mean, tested for COVID, and I do think in a sense it is kind of a little more contained than it was in the past. But really, like,
do you think we should still be doing that bubble, or do you think we should just, allow if fans should be allowed? Because I'm a big sports fan. I like going to soccer games, basketball games. Being here in Orlando, I have the Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
I have the Lions here for soccer.
I mean, the thing is that eventually this world has to come back to
correct
to where it was. How do you do that? I think only time will tell. I think that there is definitely like politics involved in this whole COVID thing. Absolutely 100% hands down. But you know, I think these bubbles do work, and I do think that, you know, I mean, like the NBA, look at how well that one was executed, and the MLB, look at how well that one was executed. Now, like you see, the thing about the NFL is like if they do have an outbreak where they have like 20 players that, you know, all test positive for COVID,
Yeah.
you know, that they probably cancel the season for that. And you know, we're like, and I do think that in a way, like each player is tested every single time they come to practice, they leave practice. I think every time they do that, they're tested. And I think every time they play a game, they're tested before they play that game,
Yeah, you're
after
cutting.
they play that game. Okay. All right.
I
Can
can
you
hear
hear me?
you.
All
I
right.
can hear you.
And like, I think in that sense, like that's, there still is that thing, but I mean, you know, who's to say that that wouldn't have happened in the NBA? I mean, you know, letting players in, if you see them in the stands, you know, they are like social distance.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, but even like you go into like a store or something like that, like people aren't fucking social distancing. Like, come on, like just wear a mask. Like, I mean, if you know, and I hate wearing a mask, you know, but
Uh-huh.
like if you're doing that, like, you know, this is not a virus, or if you touch somebody, you're gonna get it. So
Yeah, you know,
I
it's
don't know. It's extremely political, you know, I think.
yeah. So, how is the weather down in Vero right now? You know, we did you guys. There was that tropical storm, I believe.
Yeah.
I've been
I mean,
at work. I've been busy at work, so I really don't know about that storm going on. How was it there in Vero? Was it good?
yeah, it was like
Fine?
rainy and windy, and I mean, just like you've lived here during this stuff. I mean, it's pretty much the same shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still like my job and stuff is working from home, so
Working from home. Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
it's like, you know, I don't really. Um, this is like my little office area thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's really hasn't affected me too much, but
Okay. Any anything you've been working on and with basic or
not, you know, basic really isn't like a thing anymore.
okay.
You know, something I've really gotten into is working really hard on is CrossFit. I really am definitely like into that world now, and I'm really training to like maybe one day make it to the CrossFit Games. I don't know if you
Oh,
know a
okay.
lot about CrossFit, but the CrossFit Game is like what some of the most elite CrossFitters go to. Um, so I started doing CrossFit like 2 years ago. And yeah, I just kind of like fell in love with it. It's one of those things where it's like you just become extremely like cultured, and I talked about this with my parents, and like maybe in like a couple of years opening up my own CrossFit gym, my own CrossFit box. Um, I'd like to get like a little more capital done, and you know, kind of like start my life. And when I do that, and I don't want to say that like I don't like my job that I'm doing now. It's I think in a lot of senses, you outgrow things, and
Yeah. No,
so
and
and that's
you want to do what you want to do what you like, and you know,
yeah,
CrossFit is
like I, you know, the CrossFit gym that I started off at, and you know me when I was younger, like I love that feeling of, you know, somebody not knowing what they can do, you know, and really anything that you do in life really is all up here in your mind. Like success, you know, is all about a you know, your perspective of what it is. And you know, and I think that the reason that I like CrossFit so much is that, you know, I don't know if you've ever done it or seen it, but it's an extremely challenging thing in the body, and
mhm.
you have to almost put yourself in a mindset of like, okay, like these workouts, like this is not going to feel good to me. And you know, like I think a lot of people look at it and they get like intimidated by like the,
Hmm.
you know, by what it is. And I love that feeling of seeing somebody who like had that feeling and then just like over the years, you know, they just kept at it and you know, that's what I did. You know, I started doing it and you know, I was very intimidated, I think, at first by like, you know, what some of the people where I went to and I just stuck with it and I just kept doing it. And you know, and I fell in love with it. And I think a big reason I fell in love with it is because I did it on my own. You know, I just progressively got good at it, and you know, you learn things, and you really like opened, I think, a lot of
You're
things.
cutting out there.
Okay, let's see. Am I still cutting out?
There we go.
All right, and I think in a lot of senses, like I've learned that about myself, and I love seeing other people, like, you know, not knowing what they can do, and you know, and as a person, they develop, you know, so much confidence from that, and that's, you know, a lot of people don't like CrossFit and they don't feel like it's, you know, an extremely healthy thing for you to do, at like the elite level of it, but but there's so much more to CrossFit than that, and it's a community, and it's like a, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just a really good thing, and it's something that I fell in love with, because it just it, you know, I think it truly like changed me as a person. I I think I'm, you know, a little more balanced and more humble about a lot of things in my life, um, because I had done that, and I, you know, and I don't know, I just I really like doing it, and I don't know, I just am curious to see where it takes me in my life.
Yeah, I believe it's you know, any type of, you know, exercise. It's the important part is consistency.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
yeah, consistency. A lot of people, you know, try to, you know, start something, but then they never finish it. You know, we'll start the
Hmm.
beginning of the year. You know, that first week of the year where everyone's like, okay, this is the year where
Yeah.
we're gonna get fit. I'm gonna go to the gym. You know, go to CrossFit. But then after that first day, you know, they're huffing and puffing and they're quitting.
And they
So
just want to quit.
so yeah, but it's consistency, you know, it's being able to push yourself, you know, to the limit
Hmm.
and surpass that. Definitely um
Hmm. And that right there, that moment when you're thinking to yourself, like, that's the most important moment in your life. And once you like learn how to overcome that moment, you're, you know, anything you do in your life, it's you know, you're gonna do a lot of things in life if you just, that 1 second in your mind, you know, that thought enters your mind of just like, okay, like I'm gonna, like, this is challenging, you know, I don't want my ego to be ruined by this
yeah,
challenge. And it's just that simple switch in your mind is like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it anyways. That decision that you make in that single second is a decision that will change, you know, the outcome of anything you do in your life. Because I mean, you know, really anything that's challenging, you know, the outcome of it is great. And that's, I think, you know, that's something that in my life, you know, reason I want to open up a CrossFit gym is because I want people to realize, like, you know, when that moment enters your mind, that's a big moment, and that's a moment that you have to decide, like, okay, like, I I can continue to go back to where I was, or I can just slowly but surely, you know, keep chugging away at, you
yeah.
know, doing this. And and I, you know, I think it's surrounding yourself around people like that.
With the same mentality, you know, you don't want
Yeah.
to be, you know, if you know if you're, you know, pushing to reach a goal, you don't want to surround yourself by
Hmm.
you know, other people that, you know, are gonna say, you know what, you know, you can try something different. No, you want to keep pushing, you know, to what you want. Definitely the mentality and who you surround with is very important,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
to reach those goals. Yeah.
And you know, I've learned in my life that the importance of that is just surrounding yourself around those people. And, you know, like a lot of the times people, those aren't the coolest people in the room. You know, those aren't the people that have, you know, 10,000 Instagram followers, or, you know, those aren't the people. And I think a lot of it's maturity. You know, definitely doing that. You know, those aren't the coolest people in the world, but let me tell you something. As far as you as a person goes, those are the best people for you. Is for people that, you know, realize that like there's way more to life than just the way that you show yourself to the world. Um,
Correct.
and I think especially in like you and me are like kind of different, I think, in a lot of senses, about other people out there. Um, but I think especially in like kids our age, you know, they try to, I think, like only show the best part of them, and there's not a whole lot of transparency. I'm probably breaking out a
Mhm.
little bit,
Oh,
but
you're good now.
there's not a whole lot of transparency as far as like what's real and what's fake. And I think one, and it's gotten worse, like, you know, um and I think a huge part of that is like things like social networking. Just, you know, you literally can make your life something that it's not. You know, you don't have to be like as transparent about things. And like back in the old days, it's like you could be, it's like people literally live their entire lives, um, off making an Instagram post.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, the quality of that life is not there. And, and I don't know, I think that's an effect in life that's really like affected society.
Hmm.
Um, and, and that's
It's
something that I really hope we evolve out of, because I think it's very detrimental to the development of us as people.
mhm. Yeah, it's you know, with social media, I believe it's more of an appearance, you know.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
It's
Like
more of an appearance that is important to a lot of people, you know, what somebody, you know, what they
their
see or
ego, yeah.
yeah. So, you know, you know, it's important to, you know, definitely stay true to yourself. You don't want to be somebody, or you don't want to portray someone that you're not, or that you are, you know.
Hmm.
uh, I think that's, you know, very important. But yeah, no, I mean, a lot of people are making a lot of money on social media, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
which I mean, you know, and I think that's another big problem is like, why are these people making all this money? Like the shit there's, and like people, like that's like what I'm saying. Like people don't really know. Like people who like fitness people who like promote like shitty pre-workout and stuff. It's like,
yeah,
and I think a lot it's because like people don't fucking know, like,
yeah,
you know, like, and that's another thing. Like I dedicated so much of my life, and I can't like literally my entire life now revolves around my CrossFit training, and I've dedicated so much of that to
yeah.
that I think a lot of people, you know, really don't like understand that, like, you know, you got to dedicate, you know, a good majority of your life to this. And
It's the work that's done off camera, you know.
that's exactly it. It's what you do in the dark that puts you in the light.
Yeah, exactly,
That's
exactly. You know, you
exactly
don't.
exactly.
Um, it's
And everybody
it,
wants to just be in the light.
yeah. No, you gotta be in the dark a little bit. You know, work
Mm-hmm.
hard, focus on yourself. You know, because at the end of the day,
Exactly.
you know, the person that you have is yourself, and especially now, with everything going on, you know, health is wealth. So um,
Health is wealth, dude. Health, I can't
yeah,
agree with that 100%.
yeah, no,
When you're
health is wealth.
healthy, the whole world starts to make sense.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's you know, it's as long as you're exercising, eating good, you know,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that you're taking care of your own body. That's where it all starts. When, you know, once you start doing that, and you know, you're consistent every day, um, everything else just falls in place. You know, it's if you
Mm-hmm.
feel better, you perform better at work. It's
Absolutely.
you can be doing anything. You can focus on, on your hobbies, if it's a hobby, if it's at work, or if it's something that you want to do. You want to feel in good shape. You want to be able to wake up in the morning and say, I'm gonna exercise, I'm gonna eat good today, and everyththing that I do, I'm gonna do it the best that I can. And that's the mentality that that I try to have
Hmm.
every because some days can be hard, but we have to just keep pushing through, because it's possible. Definitely, surrounding yourself with with friends, having good conversations with coworkers, uh, eating good. I mean, I love to eat good.
Yeah.
I don't know
I mean,
if
I like pizza. I
I'm
don't think I
Mexican,
like
so
pizza and barbecue.
pizza and barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love I love any pastas. I'm really into hummus, baba ganoush, lamb. I'll eat tacos. You got that
Hmm.
fajita,
Oh
chicken.
yeah. That
All
authentic Mexican
good
food.
stuff. Yeah, Mexican food, Asian food, and um, I, I I love it all. But just uh, you know, exercising, staying,
Hmm.
being doing what you love is also very healthy. Maybe it's not the job that you're doing, the work, but hey, when you get off of work, you go out for a run. Go read a
Yeah.
book.
Just.
Go
Hmm.
go to the park. Go look at go to the lake. Go to the beach. Do something that you like,
Hmm.
and because you want to be you want to be relaxed. You want to be focused. Stay focused on your goals. And I feel like a lot of people think it's one day to the other. You're gonna wake up one day
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
and it's everything's gonna be different. But no, you have to put the hours in. You have to you have to put the hours in yourself as well, because we are our own investment. We have to invest in ourselves,
Hmm.
um, and just have that mentality, that I'm not saying that you know, forget about other people, but you want to focus on yourself, and to reach those goals, because that's what life is about. Keep pushing, pushing through, uh, any issues that come up, and just staying focused on what you really want in life. For some people it might be wealth. For some people it's having a healthier body,
Hmm.
and oh, cool. I remember, man, when we were in high school, uh,
Yeah, dude.
totally
I was.
different person, totally
Hmm.
different person, and you've definitely proven,
Yeah.
to yourself,
Thank you. Yeah.
hard work and dedication, going out on
Nothing
run,
beats that.
eating healthy, definitely changes your whole attitude and your whole, perspective on how you look at, see life. If
Hmm.
once you accomplish that, physically, you want to go out there and you can accomplish anything.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, it's just having that mentality. And unfortunately, not everyone has that mentality, but uh, we have to definitely motivate, whenever we talk to, and socialize, whenever we go out, and they ask us, what we do is, just having, just
Yourself. Yeah.
yeah, just be yourself. And uh, that's one thing that I always say, I'm focused on myself, first, being healthy,
Hmm.
um, and focusing on your goals. And as long as you have that, that's a good start.
Definitely. Yes. Uh, so you plan on staying in Orlando, or because you talked to me about moving, or?
Yeah, so I do plan on staying here in Orlando till I graduate. I do want to move. I don't know where yet. I really like Georgia, um,
Hmm.
around Atlanta. I really like that area. Just to uh, meet new people. Explore. New places. Uh, I also like Miami. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
staying in Florida. I love Miami. Uh, just the whole vibe of different foods. There's a lot of Hispanics down there too, so it's pretty fun. I Atlanta and Miami are my two main places where I'd love to move to.
Hmm. Yeah, I just bought a house here in Vero.
Okay.
And a lot of people like ask why I don't like really branch out. And um, you remember when I used to do all that like modeling stuff and all that. You know,
Uh-huh.
I there's something about this town and this that's just like a cool vibe. Like I like where you can just get in your car and just like,
Oh yeah, of course. Oh no, I know.
you know, like in Orlando, like I've went and visited you, and I have other friends that live in Orlando. They all live around your area. And like Winter Park, that one day we went to Winter Park. Winter Parks is probably dropping a little bit. Winter Parks is a really beautiful like little town. And I like it. I think Erin lives there, doesn't she?
Yeah, yeah. So it's actually called it's like it's like a 5 minute drive to Winter Park. It's south of Winter Park. It's in a place called Baldwin Park. Um,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, Baldwin Park. It's a very nice area. Uh, and yeah, Baldwin Park is pretty nice. Personally, when I do make a purchase on a house, I do want a big front yard and a big backyard. I feel like everything here, but it's a city, so it's different. Everything here is very compact, very close. Um,
Hmm.
you know, everyone uh, is here nearby. There's a lot of Orlando is a city that's growing. I am 5
Yeah.
minutes from downtown Orlando, and then
Yeah.
here we have all the tourists, we have all the parks. There's a
Hmm.
lot of movement here. We also have UCF, which is I
Yeah.
believe it's one of the
Yeah.
biggest schools that here in the country with
Hmm.
uh,
And like I'm like a
uh,
pretty like, I mean, you know me, but I'm like a pretty quiet person. Like, I mean, like it's not like I don't like. I mean, you like to party, and I don't really like party as much. I'm more of like a very like quiet.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we're different. We're
like
different. I like to party.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you like to party. I'm definitely more like go to bed at 8 and
Yeah.
waking up at like 4 or 5. And but so you probably like that vibe, and the vibe here is more of like my speed, I think, a little more.
Yeah,
It's
Vero
very like,
Beach.
yeah, sleepy. Zero beats is I think what other
No, no, I
kids
love it there.
call it.
My family, they still live there, and I do go to visit once in a while. What I do miss the most of Vero is having the beach right there.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I do miss that. We don't have any, yeah, the beach isn't too far from where I am, but it's an hour
Hmm.
drive instead of a 10-minute drive
Yeah.
to the beach right from my parents' house. But that's probably one of the things that I do miss the most, and it's very peaceful. There's really nothing going on in Vera, but I do plan on moving back to Vera. I don't know when,
Hmm.
but I do plan on moving back and being there for a while.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I never really like. I mean, I've been out with like friends and stuff, but I've never really been like a big like partier. I've always,
Okay.
like I said, just been like a very like quiet, just kind of like my own my own like person. Um, I've always like just like when I graduated high school, like I had a job in high school. I graduated, went to college, um, and then like right after college, I got a job in the field that I had computer science, tried studying that. So like I never really, and I didn't go away to like some big college. Um, so I never really got like that whole college experience. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
if
like
like maybe if I went to like a college where that wasn't like really close to where I lived at, maybe I may have been like may have changed me. But no, I mean I don't really. I mean, like really, the only time I really like partied a lot in my life is when I did that like modeling stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
obviously, like doing that, you meet people who obviously do that kind of stuff. So it. But besides that, I was like, nah, this isn't for me. Yeah, but or Atlanta's a neat city. I was driving through Atlanta, but the traffic there is like really pretty bad.
Yeah, the traffic is pretty bad. Yeah, no, the Atlanta's nice. Buckhead is where I would like to move to in Atlanta. Buckhead is it's north of downtown Atlanta, and it's
Yeah.
a very nice area. Very suburban, but they have some very nice houses. Up there. The the weather is also, you have all of the seasons. You have the mountains right there. You have the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains, and it's really not that far. It's either from here, from Orlando. It's either a 6-hour drive or a 1-hour flight. So it's not
Yeah, it's like
far.
7 from Bureau.
Yeah, from here it's like 7 hours, and I enjoy driving. I don't mind driving. It's I actually I do want to do a cross country trip. I don't know where I want to go though. I'd
My
I've
my
I've
friend.
driven up to Buffalo to Niagara Falls from Vero. It was there and back, but I would like to go to the West Coast and goes sightseeing.
Yeah, my friend is. I don't. I mean, you may have heard of him, Tim. He was on the last episode of this.
Okay,
And
yeah.
he is moving. He lives in Orlando, and he's moving as we speak right now. He's doing a cross country trip, and he's moving to Belvidere, Washington, and he's made like several stops. Like I think he went to Nashville, because I lived in Nashville for like 2 months, and then he was going to. He went to St. Louis, Kansas City, and I think now he's going to go see Mount Rushmore, and
Okay.
then go all through the country. And I told him like that's something that I've always wanted to do, is just like I've been to I think 48 of the states in America, so I
Yeah.
only need a couple more to go to, but I'd love to.
What's left? What's left?
South and North Dakota.
Okay.
Yeah.
South,
I haven't been
north.
I haven't been to Alaska.
Okay. Okay.
I think that's how many states? 51, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Puerto Rico.
Oh,
I haven't been to Puerto Rico is not a state, but
Puerto Rico's not a
I've been
state.
there.
Yeah.
It's a province, but I mean, in all fairness, I think it should be a state. I mean, we pretty much like like they pretty much do everything we do. So I mean, I don't really know why they wouldn't consider that a state, but yeah, I've been to every national park, and well, I don't. How many national parks are there? There's a lot.
There's a lot of them. I don't think you've been to all of them.
No, I've been to a lot of them. I've been to
Okay.
Tacoma. I've been
Okay.
to Zion. I've been to Grand Canyon North Rim, South Rim. I've been
Okay.
to Yellowstone,
Yellowstone.
Sleepy
Death
Bear
Valley.
Dunes. I
Death
mean,
Valley.
there's honestly like there's a lot that you wouldn't know. I mean, obviously the Everglades, but there's a lot that you wouldn't know that are national parks, and then you Google them and they're national parks. It's like, oh shit, that's a national park. So it's like I've been there. So like you said, I probably haven't been to all of them because there's like a lot of little ones that you wouldn't know are national parks that are national parks. But like as far as like the big ones that like people like think about and know
Yeah.
about, there are. I mean, I don't. I'm sure you can. Oh,
What
I'm
about
so curious.
out of the
How
country?
many
Have you been out
national
of the
parks are
country?
there?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've been 62 national parks. So I probably haven't been to all of them.
60.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to 60 national parks, so, uh, but they're definitely. I've been to quite a few. Yeah, I mean, I've been out of state. I've been to England. That's where my family's from. Some of like France and all of that. France is a very like a lot of people want to go there because it's France and it's cool. But besides like the Eiffel Tower and like the Louvre and stuff like that, there's really not like a whole lot to do there.
Yeah.
I'd much rather like if in America there's, and you know this in like Colorado, there's so much beauty in this country.
Oh
It's
yeah.
amazing. Like in Utah, I don't know if you've ever been to Utah, but you can
No,
go from Zion.
Yeah,
You can go from Zion National Park, and drive all the way north to the Bonneville Salt Flats, and it's just like, and then you can go to like Park City, and it's just like beautiful country. Just like Zion National Park, like I don't know if you've ever been there. Is just one of the like it's almost like a picture can't describe how pretty Zion is. It's just something that like I think everybody in person should. And even Yosemite, I don't know if you know what Yosemite is. But Yosemite is one of the prettiest things you can see. And even in Colorado, like what's the national parks in Colorado?
Well, there's the Rocky Mountain National Park.
Yeah, I think there's a couple.
Big one.
Like, yeah, I mean the Rocky Mountains. There's a huge mountain range, but I think there's a couple in Colorado. But yeah, Colorado is a beautiful state up in those mountains. And where'd you go, Boulder, or did you go to Denver?
I stayed in downtown Denver. But
Denver's a cool city.
Yeah, we stayed there in downtown Denver, but we went to Boulder. We went to Colorado Springs, and we also went to Vail, Colorado, which was also pretty nice. So we just
Vail, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, Vail, Colorado Springs, Boulder. Boulder was nice. It's a very nice, quiet town.
Higher altitude, yeah.
Yeah, and it's higher altitude. Really, I'm really not used to that type of altitude. So, and two other of the guys that I went with, we've been here in Florida for the past year. I went to Atlanta, but the altitude in Colorado
like
is different.
Like 10,000, 5,000 feet above.
Yeah, once we got there, it's different. It's just different.
Yeah.
The body feels it. Where I felt it the most was actually the first day that we got there. So we landed, went to the hotel, and then the next morning, because it was late night when we arrived, the next morning we went to St. Mary's Glacier, and that's like 11,000 feet. And we hiked a good part of it,
you really feel it hiking, like.
Yeah, you really feel it hiking. I mean, you're just going up. It's not
like
here
you've hiked
Florida,
in like North Carolina, and then like you've hiked like the Smoky Mountains in North Carolina, and it's completely different from hiking like the Rocky Mountains in Colorado because of that altitude change. The air's thinner, and you can't like.
No, it was definitely an adventure. Legs were shaking a little bit, wasn't really prepared for it, but we reached the top. so that was pretty fun.
I think the tallest mountain in North America is in Colorado. I think it's Mount Evan or something like that.
Mount what?
Mount Evan. I think it's the tallest. I think I may be mistaken, but I think it's the tallest mountain in North America is in Colorado. I mean, I know the tallest mountain.
Which one's the one in Seattle, in Washington?
What's the name of that one?
Because when I went to Seattle, I was
I think this one's taller. Though. I mean, I think it's a couple, like maybe like 1,000 feet taller, or a couple 100 feet taller, but pretty sure it's that one. But I know that I know the tallest one because my grandpa did this one is Mount Kilimanjaro in South America,
Uh-huh.
and that's the tallest
Very
one I think in the Eastern Hemisphere.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
But like those mountains are some scary shit because like you get like they're like 15,000 feet and
Oh,
like
Mount Rainier.
yeah,
Mount Rainier is in
and
Washington. That's 14,000 feet.
where's that one at?
That's in Washington.
Okay, that's the tallest one.
Yeah, and then the one that the tallest one in Washington. The tallest one is Denali in Alaska. It's 20,000 feet. In
Oh shit.
Colorado, I went to Pikes Peak, which that one was 14,000 feet. That's one of the highest ones in the country.
Hmm.
Um,
Is that one like steep? Because like I
I,
think they do it
I
because
went
of
to
like
that
how
one.
steep they are. Like if they're like really like flat, but then like the really steep ones, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I know like that Mount Kilimanjaro is like a really like Mount Everest is like a really steep climb, so it's like fucking altitude goes from like 0 to 100 like real quick. And
yeah,
that's what makes them like so deadly. Or if it's like a gradual like progression of cutting down oxygen levels, and it's like not as bad. But like Mount Everest, like
yeah. Well, I
within
believe
like
in
an
Mount Everest they have different camps.
outpost, yeah.
Yeah, so they go that they hike up and then they have to come down a little bit and they
Hmm.
just up and down to zigzag until they make it to the top. Um, that one's 30,000 feet, so it's double
Yeah,
of
that's
what I did.
crazy.
So yeah, and I don't think I'm gonna have to. If I go to Everest, I'm probably gonna need an oxygen tank and
Mhm. Well, I think you have to because I don't think you can like. But then like the thing is like so cold that like it would like freeze the oxygen.
yeah, it's
So it's
tough,
like
man.
you literally have to be a savage to. That's probably why they have a wall of people who climbed it.
Yeah, yeah.
But you never know, man. Like they could have your picture up there, and the only Mexican that ever climbed it.
Hey, probably, probably,
Possibilities.
yeah. Um,
All right, so I'll ask you, kind of coming to an end. I'll ask you this question: where do you see yourself in 10 years?
in 10 years,
Climbing Mount Everest.
30, 30. No, no. I mean, maybe you never know. In 10 years,
You're a mysterious man. You never know.
yeah, no, you just never know. And definitely in 10 years, I'll be, you know, graduated from college way before then. Uh, I do, one of my goals right now, my long-term goals is starting a company where I do want to get my contracting license. I like to build. I would love to build. Remodel, especially if I do plan on moving back to Vero. If I'm going to be in Atlanta, I have an uncle that he's a contractor up there, and he's doing very well. All of these big cities are growing, and
Hmm.
that's what I would like to do. I don't know.
Hey, everybody
10
underestimates
years.
like everybody underestimates like jobs like electricians and plumbers and cart like develop
Yeah.
like contractors and stuff. But
Oh,
shit, dude, those guys they roll in dough.
oh
Like
no, of course. And in Vero,
like everybody wants to be like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. Like nobody's like, I want to be an electrician. And those fucking dudes like look like some of the biggest like that's what my dad was, and like some of like
yeah,
fucking roles like those landscape guys, like those dudes make like a shitload of money, and like nobody's
yeah,
like wanting to be those guys because it's not as
of
glamorous
course.
as being like I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, like, hey, dude, shit, somebody needs to cut the grass and somebody needs to make it so you can like turn on a light, you know,
Yeah,
build
man.
a
I mean,
house, like,
and people nowadays, a lot of people don't know how to build anything. They don't know how to
oh
screw
no, like,
anything into a
yeah,
wall. They need assistance. People will pay anything to
yeah,
to have a a TV mounted. Come on, you don't know how to mount a
Yeah.
TV or screw a light
Oh yeah,
bulb
it's
in.
ridiculous.
Come on, change the light bulb. Hey,
Yeah.
give me your
Hey,
money.
like the world, like I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's almost like the world. There's a lot of pussies in the world.
Yeah, everyone's very
Like
sensitive. We're gonna
like
have to.
some people will find sensitivity to what you and me are talking about right now.
Yeah,
Like, oh my God.
we're gonna have to have a censored version of this interview.
No, I mean I'm pretty like transparent, so it's like if I feel something, like
Oh no, of course,
yeah.
we're
like
gonna have to
I
we're gonna
honestly
have to
don't care.
censor. Hey, viewer discretion advised next
Yeah,
time.
well
Okay.
that's on like the podcast thing. Like they actually like listen to these things, and they like
They do.
every episode. Yeah, it takes like 2 hours for the time like I hit upload to it actually being like published on all the
Okay. Yeah, this is
platforms.
this is you're cutting out there. Hold up. Let's
All
give it
right.
a second. Okay, now I can. This is the first time I've ever been on a podcast or on a video like this on a to be uploaded. But for sure, we're gonna have some content coming soon.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on in the world, and we all have different opinions, but definitely
Mhm.
you know
That's something I'd like to do is like not only like people like hear me, but have people like you talk to some of your people, and you upload it. Like I don't
do
want
some
this to be
interviews.
all about like Cole's opinion, because like I'd have to change the fucking name to Cole's opinion, and I'd love to have like you have like your friends on here and then upload it
I'll get
to
them on.
yeah, and like
I'll get them on. Yeah, we all have, what I really, enjoy is, talking, to, I have, um, not that many friends, but the friends that I
mhm.
do have, we're all very different,
Oh
we
yeah,
all,
and that's
different backgrounds, different mentalities, different opinions, but hey, we're all friends,
mhm.
It's like I said in the beginning, we all agree to disagree, and
Yeah.
we'll get on each other and see if we can, we like to
Mhm.
argue, we like to, but it's just
Yeah.
respecting everyone's opinion, and I'll definitely get uh, uh, some
Mhm.
some of my friends to
Yeah.
come on.
Like I
I
know if
I
like
would
one day
love
I
to
told
do an
you,
interview
yeah.
with Andy. I don't know if you know Andy Huesca.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of him from you, but like we don't like text each other good morning every day. But I mean, like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Well, him and I, we text each other good morning.
yeah, and you send
And
like
I,
dick pics and stuff. Yeah, like you guys are like you're that close. I'm just like,
oh, no, absolutely not. No, we are not doing that. Um,
no.
but yeah, no, I'll get a couple of my friends on for sure.
Mhm.
And just let's get our voice out there. Let's reach
Yeah.
let's reach all of these
Yeah.
followers.
But I find like
Anybody that's viewing this video, hey,
yeah.
if you want to be interviewed, or if you want to have your jump in the conversation, you know
Yeah.
go for it. Contact us. You can contact Cole, you can contact myself.
Mhm.
I'll have Cole put my Instagram on, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'll leave you down there.
Yeah,
And but
drop a
like even
link.
like yeah, but like I find like all of this is like my opinion of stuff, and it's like I have a different opinion than like a lot of other people, and like I think that I sound like a snowflake being on here just like talking about my opinion, but like you can get
Yeah,
on here and like
of
get
course.
other people's perspective of stuff, and like I know that if I went got on here one day and told you that I like penis, you wouldn't think anything different of me, and that's
No, hey,
I mean,
that's what
you
we
might not
like.
use the bathroom with me anymore, but hey, whatever. But and that's where our friendship is. So
Yeah, and it has to be there. It's, if you like a certain thing, I might not agree with it, but hey, you're my
well,
boy.
listen,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you're not a snowflake. I'm not a snowflake.
No, no. anybody can come at us with whatever they want. We have a
Yeah.
response for them.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah,
They share
we'll
this beautiful
definitely have
planet
a
with
response
us.
for them. Of course, of course.
Hmm.
Uh,
This is the
uh,
first of many.
this is the first of many. Like I get a lot of people out here that they contact me and they're like, what's your opinion of the two candidates?
And this is great.
Well, look,
This is a great thing to talk about.
I don't agree with both of them, but this is what I always say, and it. I don't know what people are gonna think about this, but hey, who gives a shit?
Mm-mm.
We still live in a country where you can become a celebrity
Like
and
giving out.
then become president of the United States.
Absolutely.
You know,
You can.
hard work, dedication. If you have a large group of people that agree with the things that you're saying, hey, you can
Hmm.
become president of this amazing country.
Hmm.
I'm all for that. Because there's a lot of countries out there, that they'll never have that. They'll never experience that. It's other countries, the government has them tied down, and to just stay down there, and we
Yeah.
control it. But hey, if you can have your voice heard, and
Hmm.
and every and you have a big group of people agree with you and become president of the United States, I'm all for that. Hey, that's freedom right there.
Hey, America. I'm gonna
Yeah,
put
that's
the
right.
American flag emoji next to this.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if one day you became president of the United States, or if I became
You never
president.
know.
You just
Yeah.
never know,
I
you
could.
know?
Hey, I could be your vice president or vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa. So
Yeah.
so everyone out there, keep pushing, keep pushing through.
Keep it basic.
Grab
Keep it basic.
grab life by the horns, or by the
Hmm.
balls, however you want to grab life. And there will be situations where you're going to have adversaries, and there's going to be difficult decisions that have to be made, but
Hmm.
you keep pushing through, stay focused on yourself, stay healthy, you know keep working hard, work smart, and you'll get to that point where you'll be in a comfortable spot. But here's the thing: you don't want to get too comfortable.
Oh
Never
no, you
get
always
too
want
comfortable.
to be
No,
limber. You always want to be limber.
you always have to be limber. Hit that gym. Go out for a run. Hey, if you haven't ran a mile in years,
Run it.
go out, do it, do it,
Hmm.
and
Nike,
let's see
just
how you
do it.
feel after. You're gonna feel
Hmm.
you're gonna feel invincible. It's gonna feel great. Trust me.
Hey, what you just said made a $1 trillion company. Just do it.
Yeah, Frankie agrees with me. You know what? Let me
Hmm.
show Frankie that way.
Dude, oh yeah, dude. You can't miss Frank the Tank.
Frank the
Look at
Tank
the
right here.
nuts on it. Is he fixed?
This is the man right here.
The man with the plan, Frank the Tank.
The man with the plan. Hey, big balls only. Don't come at me with none of that. None of that little
All
balls.
right.
Big balls only. Oh, good
Oh,
lord.
shit.
Yeah.
His balls
Just
not
have
fixed.
that
No, I'm kidding.
attitude. Go getter attitude. Grab life by the horns and get
Mhm.
on. Don't be a pussy.
Nope. I mean, we try to keep it PG-13, but
Oh, I'm sorry. PG. Well,
no, man. Yeah,
you can
I've been
beat that
saying.
out. You can.
All right.
uh,
All right. Well, I think that concludes it. Thank you for being here. And like I said,
yeah.
first
Thanks
of
for
many.
having me. Thanks for having me. Yeah, of
Yep.
course. Let's do
And
this
whenever you.
a weekly thing.
Mhm. And hey, if you get somebody on here like that you want to talk to, you just record it, and we can work out something about how we're uploading this content. But hey,
Sounds
first
good.
of many.
Hey, nice seeing you,
Hey.
brother.
All
Goodbye.
right. See ya.